Eutrophication happens when liquid agricultural fertiliser applied to land drains into a pond. This increase in the nutrient supply causes algae to bloom, which deplete oxygen available for fish in the pond, causing their death. The balance of the ecosystem components become upset. If an ecosystem is to be sustainable, it needs to be in equilibrium. Healthy, sustainable ecosystem, hundreds of years develop. Success depends complex interrelationships within it. Ecosystems evolve slowly, adapt to change. Sudden change can have disastrous impacts, causing it to become unbalanced. Natural change, extreme weather events, flooding and drought. Fire, caused by lightning strikes. Climate change and global warming. Spread of invasive species or introduction of alien species. Human-induced change, land use change such as deforestation, hedgerow removal, alteration to water and soil such as land drainage or adding fertilisers, hunting or trapping of animals or birds, introduction of alien species. Key component pond ecosystem is water. Quality, quantity, water changes, massive impact on ecosystem. Climate change, extreme weather events such as heat waves and droughts dramatically affect water levels. Long periods of low water levels cause stress in organisms and some individuals may die. Pond dries out, entire ecosystem will be at risk. Fertilisers on farmland can result in influx of nutrients into a pond. Rapid growth of algae chokes pond, depriving organisms oxygen. Eutrophication. Introduction of alien species may happen naturally or through human activities. If predatory fish like pike or perch introduced, reduce food supply for organisms, further up the food chain, for example, small fish and frogs for errands. Chala is a disease affecting many ash trees, caused by fungus, results in tree loss and bark damage. Trees being affected by borer beetle, lack of ash trees in the woodland will affect ecosystems' primary production and reduce food for consumers. 1987, strong winds blew down 50 million trees, southern England. Forest ecosystems unbalanced, consumer species declining. Secondary growth of trees restored balance, consumer numbers increasing once more. Controlled hunting, culling, species such as deer, consumer, important and maintain balance of an ecosystem. Deer numbers escalate, reduce food supply for other consumers. Biomes. Climate in an area determines what type of ecosystem forms. Different parts of the world have different ecosystems because of different climates. Global ecosystems or biomes are naturally occurring large-scale communities with flora and fauna, occupying a major habitat that is defined by abiotic factors such as climate, relief, geology, rock, soil, wind and ocean currents. Abiotic factors determine the resulting vegetation and animals that live there, abiotic components. Global ecosystems from broad latitudinal belts across the world from west to east. The climate and vegetation characteristics of each biome determined by global atmospheric circulation. So, in the highest latitudes are tundra biome, then cruciferous forest, then temperate deciduous forest and temperate grassland, then in the Mediterranean, it's Mediterranean. Also on the lower, so they're all in belts and strips, apart from Mediterranean, which is in one area. Also in the same belt above the Tropic of Cancer, there's desert. Then it goes to tropical grassland, tropical rainforest, tropical and other biomes. So. Tropical rainforests found around the equator between the tropics of Cancer and tropics of Capricorn, which is 23.5 degrees north and south. Continents of Asia, Africa and South America. Sun's rays concentrated, latitude, heat, moist air, rises, heavy convectional rainfall, little seasonal variation, 27 degree temperatures, hot throughout year, conditions perfect, creation of lush evergreen forests, dense canopies of vegetation forming in distinct layers. Hot desert found between 15 and 35 degrees north and south of the equator, close to tropics of Cancer and Capricorn. Little rainfall, air subsiding locations producing hot, dry, arid conditions in places like Sahara and Australia. Sun's rays are still highly concentrated at low latitude, around 35 degrees. Temperatures during the day very hot. Shrubs, cacti, sparsely distributed in sandy soil. So, characteristics of global ecosystems. So, tropical rainforest is close to the equator. High temperatures and heavy rainfall associated with equatorial low pressure belts create ideal conditions for plants to grow. Rainforest covers 6% of the Earth's land surface. More than half of the world's species of plants and animals live in this global ecosystem. A quarter of all medicines come from rainforest plants. Desert, 30 degrees north and south of equator. Deserts cover 1/5 of the world land surface. Hot deserts are associated with subtropical high pressure belts. Sinking air stops clouds from forming, resulting in high daytime temperatures, low nighttime temperatures and low rainfall. Plants and animals have to be well adapted to survive in these conditions. Polar, Arctic, Antarctic. Cold air sinks at north and south poles, resulting in very low temperatures and dry conditions. Main polar regions are Antarctica, Greenland, where temperatures fall below negative 50 degrees Celsius. Deciduous and coniferous forests, roughly 50 and 60 degrees north of the equator. Deciduous trees shed their leaves in winter and retain moisture. Coniferous trees are cone-bearing evergreens, retain their leaves to maximise photosynthesis during the brief summer months. The UK's natural vegetation is deciduous forest. Further north, for example, in Canada, Scandinavia, coniferous forests dominate as they're better suited to colder climates. Temperate grassland, roughly 45 and 50 degrees north and south of the equator. Inland away from the coast with hot summers and cold winters. So characteristics, vast areas of grassland in North America and Eastern Europe. So North America's prairies and Eastern Europe is steppes. Areas experience warm, dry summers and cold winters. Grasses can tolerate these conditions as this land is mainly used for grazing animals. Mediterranean, 40 and 45 degrees north of the equator. Isolating locations of the equator, so South Africa, Western Australia. Countries around the Mediterranean, hot, sunny, dry summers, mild winters. Pressure belts migrating slightly north and south during the year. Mediterranean vegetation includes olive trees, fruit trees, lemons and oranges. Other parts of the world have a similar climate, so California, South Africa and parts of Australia. So savanna is 15 to 30 degrees north and south of the equator. Tropical climate in these low latitudes characterised by distinct wet and dry seasons. The dry season can be hot and wildfires can break out. Violent thunderstorms can occur during the wet season. Large herds of animals graze on these grasslands, along with predators such as lions and leopards. Tundra from the Arctic Circle about 60-70 degrees north, so Canada, Northern Europe. Very small areas of tundra in Southern Hemisphere due to lack of land at these latitudes. Tundra is characterised by low-growing plants adapted to retain heat and moisture in cold, windy, dry conditions. Regions are North Canada, Northern Europe. Fragile ecosystem, easily damaged, threatened by developments, oil exploitation, tourism. Animals such as reindeer are adapted to survive in the cold. So broad distribution of global ecosystems, so you can map it out like this. So distribution of global tropical rainforest, so broad belt close to equator, found between latitudes of 5 degrees north and south equator, located within two tropics, Tropic Cancer and Capricorn, 23.5 degrees north and south, found in Amazon Basin, South America, Congo Basin, Central Africa, in Malaysia, and Indonesia, in Southeast Asia and North Australia. So the climate temperatures for a large-scale ecosystem in tropical rainforest is always very stable, always the same. Although it can rise slightly by a degree per month. Climate graph, for precipitation, it varies widely across the months. So in January, February, March, April, there's highest rainfall. March is the largest of all. In April, May, it declines. June, and in April, May and June it declines. July, August, September are the lowest, with August being the lowest. October, November it rises again, and December it rises but less than January, February, March, April. Oh. Animal adaptations, plenty of food and water throughout the year, special adaptations living in tropical rainforests, intense competition for food, animals become adapted to live off specific plants or animals that few others eat. So toucans and parrots, strong beaks for cracking hard nuts which other birds can't break. Bats thrive on fruits grown in the canopy, which they can reach by flying. And they also help disperse seed, which pass through their digestive system. Animals may use colour to act as camouflage or to warn predators, leave them alone. For example, brightly coloured poisonous frogs. Three-toed sloths have long claws, enabling them to climb trees, where most of the time away from the forest predators. Algae grow on their fur to help camouflage them. Yeah, they find food and escape predators. So animals, for the entire lives, hyperpink strong limbs, they can spend all day climbing and leaping from tree to tree. Howl monkeys, for example. Animals, flaps of skin enable them to glide between trees, like flying squirrels. Suction cups for climbing, like red-eyed tree frogs. Birds, short pointy wings, easily manoeuvre between dense tangle of branches and trees. For example, the harpy, eagle, short wingspan. Animals camouflage, like leaf-tailed geckos, such as leaves, so they can hide from predators. Many animals are nocturnal, active at night. Sloths sleep through the day, feed at night when it's cooler to help them save energy. Animals are adapted to low light levels and rainforest floor, so anteaters have sharp sense of smell and hearing, so they can detect predators without seeing them. Rainforest animals swim like jaguars. This can help them cross river channels. So, one reason why rainforest soils quickly lose nutrients. Tropical rainforests have heavy rainfall, over 300mm a month in wet seasons, leaches nutrients out of soil. So soil is organic matter and mineral matter, air and water. At several metres thick, the soils of tropical rainforest biome are deep. Heavy rainfall, weathering of bedrock below provides mineral matter. Masses of decomposed vegetation on the forest floor inputs organic matter. Combined, deep soils form. Soils surprisingly infertile, nutrient poor. Deeper down, it gets poorer. Heavy daily rainfall washes out, leaches nutrients and minerals from the soil. Most nutrients are found at thin layer of surface where dead leaves decompose rapidly in hot, humid conditions. Many trees and plants have shallow roots to absorb these nutrients. An infertile red iron-rich soil called a lat salt is left behind.